Believe it or not, the most corrupt act by Donald Trump just got a whole lot worse. I am referring to here his Memecoin, his digital currency. Do you remember this scene in the White House?
I don't know much about it other than I launched it. I heard it was very successful. I haven't checked it. Where is it today?
You made a lot of money, sir.
How much?
Several $1 billion, it seems like, in the last several days.
Several billion? That's peanuts for these guys.
That was very early on in the Trump administration. He announced, frankly, even before his inauguration, he was launching a meme coin. In that scene, though, he's giddy over how much that meme coin is making him. The reporter asks him, are you going to continue trading that coin? And his answer is yes, and he wants to know how much money he's making. Well, now with the passage of time, we know how much money he's making. We know how big the grift is, and it's breathtaking. He has, just in commissions alone, made hundreds of millions of dollars from this meme coin. So how does that work? Well, whether the coin goes up in value or it goes down in value, and it has done both, he and his family get commissions on the purchase or sale of that coin. So those commissions go to him regardless of whether it improves in value or decreases in value. It's a bit like this explainer.
And then you just keep doing this again and again and again. Meanwhile, he thinks he's getting shit rich, which he is on paper. But you and me, the brokers, we're taking home cold hard cash via commission, motherfucker.
But it's more than that. Who exactly is buying this coin? And for what reason are they buying the coin? Well, it could be a lot of reasons. A meme coin allows investors to speculate and make money from speculation on the currency. It can also be a way of supporting a celebrity or a particular moment in our cultural history. But in the case of this presidential coin, it opens up the opportunity for individuals and foreign governments to influence the policy and practices of the United States of America. So if you're a foreign country, let's say you're a Gulf nation, and you want favorable treatment, or maybe you want favorable tariff treatment by the administration, buy the president's meme coin, because you have to believe that Donald Trump pays close attention to anyone that is buying a massive amount of his meme coin and putting money directly into his pocket. That can warp our tariff policy, can warp our foreign policy. And of course, it's not just foreign governments or foreign individuals, but it's anyone who has business before the government. Take this case. This is Justin's son. Justin's son is big time in the crypto digital currency space. He was being investigated by the SEC for fraud. Well, that was before he made $75 million worth of purchases of Trump meme coins. Well, it won't surprise you to learn that the fraud case against Justin's son has now been put on hold by the Trump administration. And this is the problem, that people can buy favor with the government by buying this meme coin. Now, whether that's the case with Justin's son or it isn't, the American people simply cannot know now with this administration whether it is acting on behalf of the American people or on behalf of Donald Trump's financial interests. So how did this just get a whole lot worse? Well, it got worse with this invitation. This is an invitation to come to a gala dinner. And how do you get invited to this special gala dinner with Donald Trump, the most exclusive invitation? It is billed as part of this invitation. All you have to do is be one of the top 220 purchasers of the Trump meme coin. Well, just since that announcement was made, just since that invitation was made, that coin has appreciated 70% in value. It's gone up by 70%. Somebody is buying a lot of Trump meme coin to go to that gala dinner. Someone is buying a lot of influence with Donald Trump. But that's not all, because there's also this invitation. That's right, if you want to go to the VIP special reception, you have to be one of the top 25 purchasers of the meme coin. But don't just rely on the reception or the dinner, because there's this special for those top buyers of the meme coin, those top contributors to Donald Trump's personal wealth. There's a VIP tour. And this invitation makes mention of the tour being of the White House. That's right, of the White House. Now, this particular invitation was pulled off the internet. So at this point, You top 25 buyers of the meme coin, we don't know where your special tour will be. But there's no mistaking what is intended to be conveyed here, and that is you get a special treatment at the highest levels of the US government for enriching Donald Trump. Now, it's not just Donald Trump. It's the whole family's getting in on this thing. Melania had her own meme coin, announced also before the inauguration, and the Trump kids, Eric and Don Jr., not to be left out, they've got their own crypto businesses. This is a scene in the Trump family right now. But it wasn't just the appreciation in the meme coin since this invitation went out. Just the transactions alone have made Donald Trump and the Trump family $1 million. So sending this invitation out, another $1 million in Trump's pocket. You might ask, so what's so different between this, having this special event for buyers of the meme coin, with Donald Trump hosting a fundraising event and raising money for the Trump campaign? There is a very big difference, and the difference is this. When Donald Trump hosts a campaign fundraiser for his own campaign or the Congressional Republicans' campaign or some other pet campaign cause, that money goes to the campaign. But the money here, the purchase of the meme coins here, this special dinner, that money goes into Donald Trump's pocket. That's his personal wealth. That's paying off Donald Trump directly. Not some campaign, not some philanthropic cause. No, this is money that enriches Donald J. Trump. So the Trump kids are making a ton of money. Donald Trump's making a ton of money. And the only losers here are the American people. Because now there's simply no way of knowing whether the government is acting on the public's behalf or the administration is acting on those who are putting money directly in Donald Trump's pocket. Elizabeth Warren and I have called for an investigation of this crypto scheme by the president. It is, I think, the most flagrant abuse of the emoluments clause of the Constitution, but just plain criminal graft. Selling access to the president, to the White House, to the machinery of our government, to the highest crypto bidders. Donald Trump likes to call himself now the crypto president. I kid you not. But a more accurate description would be the klepto president of the United States.
Hey,